Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. Hi. All of you can see my
Hi,
screen.
Raj. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can see your screen here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is my system. Back to my system. So the point we were discussing was custom info types, right? Custom info types. So develop a custom info type. What is the range for custom info type? 9,000 to 9999, right? With fields, hospital ID, hospital name, and what is the other one? Location. Okay. And also time constraint with 3. This is a simple specification sent by the functional consultant to a technical consultant. So how does he work? In SAP IDS system, as we discussed earlier, the only user you have access authorization for technical customizations is SAP user. You can always see that. Last time I got struck with the access key generator. So it was asking me access key. Now the problem got resolved. So if you want to check whether you have got your access key or not, you can check with any technical transaction code. Okay. So what was the solution? So first step is go to PM01. Okay. And then maintain the structure. Structure is nothing but the fields with length, or the space you need to give to fill that field. Okay. And once you maintain the structure, now you're going to see how does it work. Now go to transaction code PM01, and does anyone remember where to check whether this info type already exists or not before you choose create an info type? Go to SC11. You can type in down the database table name as PA9456 and click on display. It says it does not exist. So when it says does not exist, it means You have, nobody has ever created such info type. So now you can directly go to PM01 and write down the info type number, and now click on generate objects. What are you trying to create? Create new objects. Click on generate objects, and what does it say? PS9456 does not exist. So what is this? We discussed earlier. PS9456 is the name of the structure for the info type number 9456. Okay, you need to please remember the structure always prefixes with PS, PS9456. Just click on create. Now we are moving ahead to create a structure. Here you need to give the name of the info type what we are planning to give. So what is a info type number name you're going to give? You need to name an info type, right? For example, if you say 0002 info type, it is for personal details. Similarly, you have for basic pay, you have for what, the bank details, you have for organizational assignment. Similarly, you can name an info type. I would name this as simply hospital details. Okay, now you need to give the component here, and this component should not be given any other character as a first letter except Y or Z, because you are trying to create a custom defined field in a custom defined info type. So it should always prefix with Y or Z. So I would write down Z HOSID. So what is this now? I'm trying to create a field name with the hospital ID. Now component type. So what is component type? You're going to give the length with the data type. Hospital ID, is it a numeric or it is a character or is it a alphanumeric? You need to clearly give this here. So when you say hospital ID, obviously it will be a number. So numeric, NUMC, you can name it as 4. That means you are restricting that field with 4 characters only, and it should be always a number. And if you want to see that, just press enter. You can see that here. Okay, now let us go to the, what is the other field we planned? Yeah, it is hospital name. Okay, ZHOSNAM, or simply you can name it as to abridge it to 8 characters also. And then obviously name of a hospital would be a character. It cannot be a alphabetical one, it cannot be a numeric one, right? So I'm just giving 8. Now location is again character. Okay, so now I maintain my fields in the desired info type, and I try to save this. This is the option to save, and it will ask me where should this new structure should get saved, should get blocked. Okay, so I would say local object. This local object, you should not do it in real time. This is only for learning purpose. You have been given a package name. Okay, the local object or $TMP are one and the same. It's a sample object, it's a sample package name given by SAP for your learning and practicing purpose, but in real time you will not find this local objects or $TMP package name. Okay, just save this. You know that all the objects should get saved in some package, and this package name is $TMP in our scenario now. Now check for errors. Check for if there are any errors. Where can you check these errors? You have this option called check. You don't find any errors, but you find some notice, or you can say warnings. The messages are of 3 kinds. Rahman, The messages of three kinds. The first kind is information message. It would be in the color of blue. You have the other kind of messages, warning messages. They are not errors, but it's just a warning that in the near future you may get into some troubles. The other kind was, the last kind is error message. It will be generally in the red color. There is no other way except to resolve that problem in order to move ahead if you got an error message. Okay, you can ignore information messages, you can also ignore warning messages, but you cannot ignore error messages. So you have information messages, warning messages, error messages in SAP. So you find right now a warning message. How do I know this is a warning message? Because it is in the red yellow color. Now go back, let us resolve this warning message also. Again, check for errors. What does it say? Enhancement category for table missing, enhancement category for include or subtype missing. So what is this enhancement category? I'll try to explain this. Can anyone name? Just go to this, uh, open a new session, go to PA30, take any sample employee number and take any randomly, take any info type number, personal data, that is 0002. And what do you see here? You have how many fields you have? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 uh, 20 and yeah 21. So you have totally 21 fields in this info type 0002. Now they, now in the similar way we have created our own info type 9456. With the field we have three fields, but it is asking us whether you are planning to go ahead enhancing the number of fields in the near future. That is enhancement category. So if you have an idea that you may go for enhancement of the fields in the near future, go for maintaining the enhancement category, or else just ignore that warning. To extend the to extend the fields in the near future, you need to choose the enhancement category, and you can find that option in the extras enhancement category, and you can say that can be enhanced, can be enhanced character type or numeric, can be enhanced, cannot be enhanced. If you say can be enhanced and click on copy, now save it. You make any changes, just save that first and then check for errors. You find no warnings anymore. Now you find the option called no inconsistencies found here on the foot side, right? So we have avoided warnings also by selecting the category called enhancement category, that we go for enhancing the fields in the near future. Now whatever the structure you maintain till now, I need to get stored that in the database table. For that I need to activate this structure. So click on this option called activate and say continue. Now this structure gets stored into the database table permanently. Now can you see this? The structure is active now. Now just go back and save it, $tmp, continue and continue. You should get this. Does anyone see that? What is the kind of request you got it here? What kind of request is this?
Workbench.
Workbench request. What is the general request type we used to get when we are configuring? You might have done many modules till now, right? You might have done whenever you save an object, you're getting this pop-up box. What kind of request type you used to find? generally used to find customizing request, Rahman.
Okay.
That means whenever you're configuring functionally, you get customizing request. Whenever you're creating or developing an object technically, you get this workbench request.
Okay.
Okay. So there should be some kind of segregation, right, for technical customizations and functional configuration. So this is how you can make out that you have done something technical customization, workbench request. And I have shown you what is a workbench for technical people. Did I? I'll show you again. The transaction code SE80. This is a transaction code. This is called as workbench, where all the developers start working here. So that's a kind of easy access for the technical people. This is called a web development workbench. Here you can do anything technically. You can create, you can manage, you can display, you can edit. Okay, you can make changes. Everything you can do it. It can be a program, it can be a package, it can be a function group, it can be a class or WebDynPro component or business server page application or whatever it is. You can create or change anything here in this screen. This is the first screen for a Bapper. This is called Object Navigator. Okay, also called as Development Workbench. So save it. Save it. I've just come back to the screen where we started. Do you all see here I? I stands for information messages. I, information messages. W, warning messages. E for error messages. Now when I just try to come back to my normal screen where I started creating an info type, that is PM01 screen, I have been pushed into this screen. And does anyone say what is this screen now? This is the original screen where any consultant can find out or can sort out the list of info types in any module, preferably in person registration. We have different number ranges for different info type for different modules. Person registration 40 to 0999. Here you can see list out all the list of info types in an order like this. Now the next step is I completed creating the structure. I checked the errors, I have activated it, and I just come back to the screen. Now the next step is I'm trying to copy the existing info type. I try to copy this and click on copy. Now I would replace this with my info type 9456 and I would say hospital details. Okay, and press enter. Now here you have the hospital details info type created, but it is not customized according to our requirements. So select this, click on details and manage the time constraint. What is the time constraint we are asked to maintain? 3. It's not 1. Now save it again. Now we have done our job creating a new info type called hospital details. And when you have to check, when you want to check this, what is the only way you can do? Just go to PA30. And here you have the info type 9456, click on create. And all of you see here compiling. What is that compiling? Do you see that MP945600? Yes. That is called module pool program. So all the info types are built on module pool program types. There are types of programs. Okay. Module pool is one of the type of the program. So all the info types are built on a program type called module pool. So you would always find an info type program name as MP info type number 00. In our scenario, this is MP945600. Now, what do you see here? You find 3 fields, but the fields names or the field text does not resemble our fields, what we decided. So where is the mistake? Yeah, The mistake lies in choosing the data types. When we created, we started with ZHOS ID, GHOS name, GLOC. We have created this way. So in order to get back the text what you desire, you need to go to a transaction code called SC51, and this SC51 stands for Screen Painter. So you can create a screen, you can make changes on the screen text, you can make changes in the colors, you can do anything regarding that particular screen. But how do I know the program for that particular screen? The only way is write down MP here. MP stands for module pool, and then write down the info type number 9456 and write down 00. That's it. That's the name of the program. Okay, whenever you are asked what is the name of the program of that particular info type, the only way is write down MP, write down the info type number and suffix with 00. That's it. Now what is the screen number I need to give? What is the screen number where the details are displayed? Yes, does anyone remember the info type definition of info type?
Info type is an information type that contains logically related fields on a single screen bounded by time constraint.
Right, you are already saying single screen. So what is the screen
Just
number I need?
2000.
2000. Give the
2000.
2000 and just click on change. Okay, now so can anyone assume what is this now? Just scroll it from the top to bottom. What is this now?
Is this a backend code written by the developer or will be generated?
Exactly. There is no ABAPer written down now, but SAP system itself has generated by itself a program, a source code program for this newly created info type. So when the system was developed, they have done a lot of job doing all these activities so that even a consultant who is working on the technical end need not write a program to create an info type. He just need to maintain the structure, the kind of fields, the kind of length of each field he wants, and he need to copy it and get all the code developed generated by the system itself like this. You can see here the fields for this newly created info type P9456 Begda. That's the technical name for start date. Begda stands for beginning date. That's the technical name for start date. The technical name for end date, ENDA. The technical name for the location field, ZLOC. The technical name for hospital name, the technical name for hospital ID. Like this, the system itself has generated this program. Now what do we need to do? We want to edit the text and we want to show up like how we designed. So you need to click on an option called layout. A very important tool. This is a tool. Try to remember this. This is a tool where you can make the changes on your text. You can change the colors. You can change the fields. I'm not talking about the fields in the sense the field lengths. I'm talking about the text on the fields. I'll show you now. Click on layout. This is called as layout editor program tool. This is a tool, add-on tool by the SAP. Okay, so here you have, just make it bigger, and what do you find? The fields, the three fields what you have seen in the end user screen, that is PA30. Now click on the field text. First click on counter. So what is this field? We plan to have this text as hospital ID. Okay, now press enter and close it. The next one is hospital name, save, close it. The last one is location. Now we have the three fields however we want. We maintain the text. Now save this screen. This is called screen painter. I'll just show you randomly. I can drag any tool existing on the left side column. See, for example, I'll click on this push button and I drag it and drop it here, and it will form like this. So I can add a new push button on my existing screen like this. This is called screen painter. This is one of the very important responsibilities of a developer, that is an ABAPer. Okay, and we are not doing it now. Okay, so save this field.
We won't have access to this, right?
No, you will not have access in real time.
No, even right now, right? We won't have access even in the IDES system.
We have access only for the SAP user. For any technical customizations, you need to log into the SAP user.
Okay.
In IDES system, we have only one user which has technical authorizations. So save it and check for errors. You got any errors? No syntax errors found. Now activate the field, activate the screen. It is mandatory that you always activate any kind of object that you have created, and go back. That's it. And now check that again. Go to PA30 and write down the info type number and click on create. And here it is. You have all the three fields however you want. This is a simple creation of an info type 9456 on the name of hospital details with the three fields: hospital ID, hospital name, hospital location. Now check that if it accepts any character. See, I'm trying to type in TR. It is not allowing me, except it accepts number. I can give any number like this. And his hospital name is alphanumeric. I can give a letter, I can give a number, anything like this. And this is also alphanumeric. I can maintain the details, I can save. And go for change option and make any changes. Okay, this is creating an info type. Now let us go to an info type number 6 or 9. What is the significance of these info types? These info types have a subtype. What is a subtype in address info type? This is the address type is a subtype. The similar way you have bank details. You have an info type with subtypes like this. So what are these now? They are also info types like other info types, but they have a special field called subtype where you can choose different field subtypes. For example, you can maintain permanent residence details, you can maintain temporary residence, you can maintain some other home address details or nursing address, etc., etc. You can maintain multiple address details for the similar info type. So you may also have to create an info type with subtypes. So how do you do that? So the next step what we can do is develop a custom info type 9567 with fields transport ID, transport name, okay, with subtypes. You need to clearly write down what subtypes you want. Okay, let us not write down transport ID, let us write down transport type. And then here with subtypes like car, cab, some bus, etc. And then transport name, location of the address of the employee, like this. With what about the time constraint? What is the time constraint for address info type? It does not fall under any of these three time constraints, not neither one nor
T
two
at the top.
time constraint,
T at the top.
right? So there is no other option. We
T.
need to maintain time constraint T. Okay. Now where do you need to go for this? Again, as usual, go to PM01. Go to, yeah, PM01. Now the new info type is 9567. So again, the solution is the way same. Initially you need to maintain the fields what you want. So click on create generate objects. It says again the same way, PS9567 does not exist. Click on create. Here you're going to give the name of the info type, transport detail. That's the name of the info type. But there is very important step you need to remember when you are creating an info type and creating info type with subtypes. The first component type, the component what you are going to fill here should be the field with subtypes. It is mandatory. What is the field name that we have subtypes here in these three fields? We have three fields here: transport type, transport name, location. These are the three fields. But you need to be very clear that which field has subtypes has to be given first. Here what is the field? We have the subtypes, transport type. So you need to
Right.
fill this with Z transport type. This is the first field we need to give. And also the mandatory component type is you cannot give any customized character type or any other data type. You only need to give SAP-TY. That is the standard data type for the subtypes. And then give other fields as usual: transport name, character 8, location, character 8, like this. It does not affect. But the first field should be the info type with subtypes, and you need to give this here. Okay. Now save this structure, save it under $TMP. Check for errors. You get the similar kind of warning messages. If you want, you can ignore them. If you don't want to ignore, you can also go to enhancement category and you can enhance them, and then check for errors. There are no errors, activate them, continue. Okay, now the structure is active. Just go back, uh, save it, continue, continue. Workbench request, do you see that? Save it, continue. This is all information messages. Sunny, you can see them, information, continue. And we are into the screen where you can see list out all the list of info types from starting from actions to all 0999. So randomly choose any existing info type, click on copy, and now replace with this your new info type. What is that? 9567, isn't it? Here it is, you are in a new info type 9567 transport details. Till here, most of the steps are common with the earlier procedure. Now hereafter, the whole scenario changes. Okay, uh, so now you need to click on this. One second. Yeah. Now, after you did this, after you copy that and replace with your text, go back and come down to the screen where you started creating info type. Now you need to click on one more option called technical attributes here, and you need to click on get into the change mode first. We are into the display mode right now. Click on change. We are into the change mode. Click on position. Click on position. Find out if your info type 9567 exists. It exists. Do you see that? That means when you try to create structure along with this dialog model also got created. Now you have this 9567. Now select this, click on details. Now here you're going to maintain so many things here like SUBTY. That's the standard field name for subtypes. And then all of you remember that? Okay, let me show you. I'm trying to show you something which you need to remember to go ahead in this current step. The transaction code is SM30 and the table name is T591A. This is the only table name through which you can see any subtype of any info type. Okay, tell me an info type which you want to see the subtypes for. Which info type subtypes you want to see now? Yeah, you want to see the info type 9 subtypes. Now you can see them directly like this. These are the subtypes, and each subtype holds a different time constraint. That's the reason you have a time constraint T for the whole info type. Okay, you need to remember this table T591A. Okay, so go to this, and now subtype table. What is the name of the subtype table? T591A. Okay, subtype text table T591 591. Yes, yes, or T, I don't remember. Okay, yeah. Now after you gave the subtype field as SCBTY, subtype table name as T591A, subtype text table as T591, yes, just save this screen. Continue. Now most of our job is completed. Now what else is left out? Yes, Firoz, what else is left out now? Firoz is there? Yeah. Yeah, what else is left out? We haven't given what are the types of subtypes we need in that list. We have just created a subtype called transport type, but under transport type what options do you need? We have never given that. So what we need to do is go to SM30, Go to the table name T591A and choose the table name. Click on maintain, and you're going to give the info type number here, and here is the list of subtype which is empty completely, which you need to fill this now. New entries, subtype. What do you want? For example, I would say 01 car, 02 cab, 03 bus. I would give these three options like this and save it. Okay, now the job is done. Now you can directly go to PA30. You can see the 9567, and also simultaneously you can see the subtypes here. Do you see that? The subtypes just now what we created, 01, 02, 03. Now what I do is I don't select any subtype and I click on create. And what is the program name it is showing? Again the same. MP module pool info type number 956700. Okay, you have three fields, but is this the way we want the info type to perform? No, the info type should not work like this. The point is it should not allow us to create any field or allow the end user to maintain any details in the fields until unless the user choose a subtype. Until unless it choose a subtype, it should not allow any user to maintain any details on this under this info type. So, but it is not restricting us. It is allowing us to create without choosing any subtype. So, where is this option lies? So again, go to this easy access. Go to what SM30. Go to the table name T582A. This is the table name what we generally go for to see all the list of info types, including the custom info types also. Click on position, find out your info type 4567. Sorry, 9567, right? 9567. And here select this info type. Click on details. What do you find here? See, single screen, list screen. Here you have here you have an option called subtype obligatory. Do you see that? You need to check this box. When you click on this box, it would not allow hereafter until unless you choose a subtype. Go back. Now click on, now see, try to again go to PA30 and take down the 9567. Now it will not allow me to create directly. Until unless I choose this, it will not allow me to go ahead. I need to choose any of these subtypes without failing. So I choose car. So under the subtype car, I have these options. Again, the problem is with the text. What I need, you know the solution. You need to go to the what? The screen painter SA51 and write down the program name MP956700. 2000 is the screen number and click on change. You can see the automated system automatic generated the program for your new info type transport details. Now click on layout editor tool program. And make the changes on the text however you want. We want the text to be like this. Is this character 8? Transport name, right?
Mm.
What is the third field? Location. Okay, now save it. Check for errors. There are no errors. Activate it. Continue. Okay, it is active now. Close it. Now go back, and check for PA30.
30.
9567. Click on create. Until unless you choose a subtype, it will not allow me, and you can fill the fields with their respective details in the screen. This is info type with subtypes. So you have seen info types creation as well as info type with subtypes. Now let us go to PA30 again. I'll randomly go to an info type called 0002, and I would show, let's assume that this is Timothy Hayes, or let's take, maybe this is take any random info type where I think 101, no. Okay, so who is this? Anja Mueller. She is some executive employee working under HR department. Now let's assume that her last name got changed. Her last name got changed. This is Mueller Anja. This is her birth name. But after she got married, maybe her last name got changed to something else. Okay. Now, when as a end user, if I make changes on her last name after she got married, can anyone tell me how many places does it should reflect in her records?
All the places?
I'm sorry.
Like all the places have last names?
Yeah, but in how many fields or in how many info types do you see that kind of field where you need to update this new information? For example, if I say communication for Anja Mueller, I would choose email, and I click on change. She has her ID, email ID as anja.mueller@ids.com. So here also Mueller should get changed some the new last name. So like this, you have n number of details that need to be updated whenever you make changes at one point. But system is able to do it all by itself. And how does it do it? So you're going to see a new concept called dynamic actions. This is a very important concept. This is the real hidden secret that how SAP could perform so well. You make any changes as an end user and it reflects everywhere wherever it required. So go to SM30 and take down the table name as T588Z. T588Z. That's the table name. It is called dynamic actions. Now click on maintain. What do you want to see now? You want to see for some info type. Okay, let us do it for 0002. So this is a kind of program that SAP has developed before it sold out the license to you. Okay, and the logic what you are seeing right now is only confined to the existing info type 0002, which is for personal details. Now the personal details information of an employee may change from country to country, isn't it? There are few fields which may be added in. For example, an employee working in Germany and France may have a different ID number, not a social security number. Maybe it is called as INSE code for that country people. Okay, so there are a lot of fields which keep on changing from country to country. So in dynamic actions, you find the logic written on the country way, on the country wise. That means you find here, for example, here you can see here something like Molga 16. What is Molga and what is 16? Molga is country grouping.
Country code.
Right, country grouping, and 16 is the country grouping number. That means here the logic you find is for that country. And then come down. Here you have 10. 10 is for United States. And then you have 3. And then like this you'll find on the country grouping wise, you'll find all the logic written down here as a part of dynamic actions. This is dynamic actions code. Like this. This is only confined to info type number 2. And if you don't want to see the dynamic actions on the info type wise, you want to see the whole logic written by SAP, just click on function, write down the table name and click on maintain. Now you will find everything starting from the first info type 4 zeros to the end of the list. Like this. For all the existing info type, the logic written down here. Okay. For example, here they started with Mexico, then Brazil. You can see the country names here. Okay, Britain, and then slowly scroll it down, Finland. Okay, next, and Portugal, Venezuela. Like this, you have all the list of logic written down for each and every info type on the country basis. This is called dynamic actions. That means I'll show you now a simple screenshot. I hope I have shown you. We already discussed all these concepts, so I'm just moving ahead. Organization units, jobs, positions, cost centers, persons, relationships, tree structure. Now organization graphical view, object maintenance. Okay, not in this. Okay. Oh, we are in the PA or HR? Okay, the PA mode. Okay. This PA or we are on the, okay, just see now. So we have seen the master data, info types, personal actions, enterprise structure, personal structures, employee groups, employee subgroups, payroll area, organization structure which consists of organization units, jobs, positions, groupings using person subareas, groupings using employee subgroups, info types, four primary master data info types, info groups and personal actions. Here you have actions. So these are all details we already have seen. And now coming to the personal actions, PA40, where any end user can perform any kind of activity or action for any employee. That is called personal actions. And here it is PA40. You can see the list of action types, and we already done for employee. next fast entry, and we are discussing about an additional actions info type 302. If you remember in the concept of personal action types, when we are trying to customize a procedure under the customizing procedures, we found U and then again another U and then C. Three options we found. The first U is for the actions info type. The second U is for additional actions info type. This is what the additional actions info type 302 is. Now dynamic action. We are talking about dynamic actions now. See, there is some kind of action or activity or some changes performed on an info type called 16, which is for contract elements. And whenever you try to save this after you make changes, it automatically reflected on the respective info type called 19 on monitoring of dates. This happened simultaneously, spontaneously, immediately. Okay, and it is able to do it, the system is able to do it by itself because the logic written down in the behind the screen, that is dynamic actions, is working well like this. So when you make some changes, when you save the screen, it automatically moves on to the info type 19, monitoring of dates. That is what this customizing procedures, or where you make changes on the dynamic action says. And then we already discussed about the features. Always you know that the features are of 5-character alphanumeric, and they default the value ranges or default the values. We have seen numker. Numker is the feature name to default the number range intervals. And then ABKRS. What is this? To default your payroll areas. VDSK1 to default your organization unit keys. PANCH. It's a feature name to default your what? Administrative groups. These are all, we utilize them when we are configuring info type number 1, info type number 7, info type number 8, and many more. Okay, and then talking about integration between other modules with person administration like this. Organization management, we have integration with person administration towards organization management, training and event management, payroll, recruitment, person development like this. Okay, so this is dynamic actions T588Z. Okay, so we'll stop it here for today. Tomorrow we'll continue on the other areas, other concepts. Okay, so all of you just try to practice and come down with your doubts later on. Okay, thank you all. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Okay.